Hello, everyone. Welcome to this event. My name is Casey Zeman. I'm super excited. I'm pumped that you are here. We are going to be doing some fun stuff. I have a really jam-packed webinar scheduled and ready for you guys. I'm really excited about this topic. Obviously, this topic is near and dear to my heart, and it's basically the thing that has perpetuated what I do and what I put out there in the world right now. How businesses, how people that are starting businesses, how they are trying to grow their business, how they are trying to turn their businesses into something that's working for them and not the other way around. That this has been a mission of mine, and I'm excited to share this message and this specific event, which is basically all around how to sell your products, your services, your coaching 24/7. 24/7. It's 24 hours in the day, 7 days a week. And it's one of the most elusive things, I think, in business. Like, people are always trying to find out how to do this, how to consistently sell their products. And in this webinar, in this masterclass, basically, I'm going to share with you how to do it in the most effective way, how the people that are using our system are doing it, and they have more time with their family. They have more time to travel around the world. They have more freedom. They have more time to write the book that they want. They are not working in the business, they're working on the business, right? They are at the high level because the business is running on autopilot. And I can't wait to share some of their case studies, their testimonials, and basically how they're doing it. I'm going to pull the curtain back here and show you how you can do this stuff with webinars. And I'm going to show you my evolution of how I did this with my own business, how I went from being a consultant to then creating my first course online all about YouTube, and then not being able to sell that course until I rolled in webinars, and then running live webinars, and then evolving into what's known as evergreen webinars, and then selling consistently and selling without, basically selling with scalability. And I'm going to share all of those things with you. So no matter where you're at right now in your business, whether you are starting you're just starting out, or whether you've been doing launches, and even if you've done successful product launches and course launches, I'm still going to show you a way that might make your life a little bit easier. One of the biggest things we hear is course creators come to us and they say, I've been doing launch after launch, and I am like, most of my time is devoted to doing these launches, and then no money comes and I have to redo it over and over again. And so, Casey, can you help me? And that's my biggest mission, is to provide a way for you to create more impact, sell more of your stuff, but without you having to be there all the time. And that's really ultimately what this session is all about. And so we're going to show you how to learn the secrets to how some of our clients are generating $20,000 a month and some $20,000 a day with our software, EasyWebinar. Okay, so I hope this is exciting for you guys. Clear out some distractions, close stuff down, because we're going to dive in. Now, I want to ask this question because I feel like it's really important. How would it feel to have consistent leads and customers every day on demand with predictability? Because Mark Cuban really had it right. He said, unless you have a reliable, duplicatable, scalable, and consistent way to bring customers in, you don't have a business, you have a hobby. So if you're selling courses, products, coaching programs, services, and if you're finally looking for a predictable and consistent way to generate customers and clients on demand, plus grow your business to 6 figures and beyond, if you're not already there right now, but do it where something is selling 24/7, where you're not having to give more time, then you're definitely in the right place. So I want to ask this question, and this kind of goes back to one of the things I said in the beginning of this masterclass was, if you went on vacation today, can you honestly say that it wouldn't create more stress than enjoyment? Is this you? Okay, if you went to Hawaii And while you're in Hawaii, your kids are eating up a storm. You're buying, drink after drink. Your whole family is racking up a massive tab at the hotel pool, and you're thinking, man, how am I going to be able to afford all this? Or you're stressed out about, man, I got to go back and work and check on the business. Like, oftentimes, and let me know, does that sound like you? Let me know. Because my vision, my goal for you is to be able to go on vacation for 3 to 6 weeks without anything breaking. Because right now, if you're saying yes to this, your business probably is reliant 100% on you being there, on you working. And my goal for you is to not have that be the case, that it works, that it runs on autopilot. The engine keeps going without you having to drive it, right? That's my goal. So does this sound like you? Do you have some months where cash just pours into your business, but you can't seem to maintain it? And do you start out every month wondering where the clients and sales are going to come from? And do you secretly know your worth is more than what you're charging, but you're afraid if you raise your prices, no one will pay them? And the reason I mention some of those, especially the ones around pricing, is because half the time we over promise, under deliver, and overextend ourselves and burn out early. So my goal and my vision for you in this, especially in this webinar, is to share with you some of my favorite ways of selling courses and programs online. What I've seen from having over 8,000 plus customers, what really works, what is scalable, and I'm going to give you a lot of my own biases on this because I'm the founder of EasyWebinar and I've seen what works and what doesn't. So I'm going to be sharing with you like actual facts around what our clients are doing, and then based on that, I'm going to give you my subjective feeling on how some of these things work better than others. Some are so powerful that oftentimes people that have one direction, they look at this and they say, wait a minute, I need to go this route. I need to go this route that you're talking about. So one of the biggest things I think is how people value themselves and create the right offer for the people that they serve. And I'm in my other mission is to make sure that you are charging enough for what your offer is and for what value you provide people in the marketplace, right? So I'm kind of I kind of like proselytize that stuff. Okay. So, I know we're talking about EasyWebinar, and I'm going to, you're going to have a demo of the tool that does it all at the end, but this is a tactical and strategic webinar that I'm going to, that we're doing today. So I'm going to be, you should be taking notes. You should be writing this stuff down because I'm going to be giving you exactly what I feel is powerful, and why I'm the person that can say that because of who we've seen come through our system and the type of businesses who are really successful. So let me ask you another question. Do you see people in your business making the kind of income you want and you have no idea how they're doing it? Or are you working way too hard in your business, too many hours and burning yourself out? And do you feel like technology or online marketing is the enemy or a threat to your business instead of an asset? And if I could provide you 20 new clients coming in a month, would that break your business? And so is this you? Do you feel like no matter how hard you try, you can't break through that glass ceiling? Do you ever feel that way? You're just not getting through. Does any of that resonate with you? Any of the questions that I asked? Yeah. Okay. So it looks like we have some yeses coming in. Yeah. And sometimes it's hard to break through that glass ceiling. It really is. And it almost feels like it's impossible. And how are other people able to even do this? Right? I understand. I understand that feeling. But here's the solution. I'm going to share it early because I think it's important for you to know that you need a solution for scalability, right? To be able to scale your offer, your program, so you can serve more people, so you can get bigger results for people. And the way to do that is through a sales funnel. Now, you guys might be thinking, well, a sales funnel, Casey, I know what a sales funnel is. I've heard of ClickFunnels. Or maybe you guys haven't heard of ClickFunnels or don't know what a sales funnel is. and or maybe maybe you only know part of what a sales funnel is, or maybe you think sales funnels are kind of scary. And the thing is, you don't need just any sales funnel, but you need one that can sell your courses, programs, and services every day with, and here's the key, authenticity and engagement that can rise above your competition. You see, here's what your competition is doing right now. They heard about sales funnels, so they're going out and they're creating different funnels that they think are going to work, that probably only are partially creating an experience for someone, only partially getting the results, and only partially converting those people into customers. I want to share with you the most powerful sales funnel that leverages authenticity and engagement, where you can rise above your competition, who first off don't even know what a sales funnel is, but then those who do know what a sales funnel is, you're rising above them by having better conversions, more engagement, more touch points on a bigger level. In fact, here's the thing. I just got an email. One of our clients who are using our system is Teachable. And I just literally got an email from Teachable last night. And that email, I'll share it with you. I'm just going to read it. This is from Andrew, who works at Teachable. He said, "Hey man, things are going great. We ran a promotion last night, last few weeks, to a couple of automated EasyWebinar events, and had about 7,000 registrations go through. Everything went super smooth, and conversion rates were some of the highest we've ever seen, and we're loving it. And your team has been amazing." So he said, "We also have a pretty high visibility build a business competition kicking off in late May, and we'll be running most of these people through an automated webinar built with EasyWebinar." Now, the reason I want to share that with you is because not all sales funnels were built the same, right? And they were not created equal. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because a lot of people don't realize that EasyWebinar as a tool is a sales funnel. It's a sales funnel tool. Now, many people don't realize that because they see it that it's a webinar. But I'm going to reveal to you how EasyWebinar is a sales tool that leverages authenticity and engagement. It leverages the power of webinars as the method for selling your products, for connecting with your audience. So we are a sales funnel tool, and a live stream webinar and technology as well. But basically, we just go all in on webinars as the functionality and tool for anything you want to do with building a better connection with your audience, more engagement and authenticity, and selling in the most effective way by building relationships. That's what we can do for people. And so my promise to you today is why webinars are the perfect way to rise above the noise with your competition in your niche in an authentic way, while working less and selling more. And how to generate. I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to do a reverse engineering of how to generate your first $12,000 a month from 4 hours, basically a month, which basically is 1 hour a week, right? So I'm going to show you how to generate $12,000 a month doing only one webinar per week, okay? And how to use EasyWebinar to basically 4x your webinar revenue using what I call the event launch blueprint, okay? And so with EasyWebinar, when you're doing a webinar to sell your products, most people don't do a few elements of what I call the event launch blueprint. And when you don't do all of these elements, you leave money on the table. So I'm going to show you how to 4x your revenue when you do a webinar out in the world. So for those of you who are doing webinars, maybe you're looking at our tool and you're thinking, I want to test it out, I want to see how it works. This is probably pertinent to you because, other tools that you might be using never had this functionality, okay? Even if you're someone who's run a webinar. And then I'm going to finally show you how to scale from there by tapping into consistent and passive income to where you are selling your products 24/7 using EasyWebinar's funnel automation technology. Remember, EasyWebinar, as I said, is a funnel building tool, but it's also a live stream technology. In fact, the way I'm running it now is via live. Now, if you are, but I'm running it live at the moment. However, depending on where you are, depending on when you're coming in, this potentially is a streaming workshop, meaning that it's streamed in real time with the experience of live, but it's not me running it live. And that's the beauty of EasyWebinar. And that's the beauty of scalability. And we're going to come on to that in a little bit here, but let's keep riding this wonderful train. So let me just tell you a bit about who I am, so that, because you're hearing me talk a lot of game, but you're not hearing me tell you who I am. So I am the founder of EasyWebinar. I'm a top engagement and webinar automation specialist. I not only create working strategies for clients, but we have top level software, EasyWebinar, that serves over 8,000 plus clients. And on average, our top clients are generating 10 to 20,000 a day. And that's $300,000 to $600,000 in a month in recurring revenue, leveraging the power of our system, basically. And if anyone asks me what my superpower was or is, it is providing sales and scalability systems to business owners so they can work less, create more impact, and make way more money. And that's what, if you go to my Instagram at CaseyZeman.com, if you anywhere I talk about these things, my goal is basically giving you a scalable system where you are not having to be so in the business, like over flustered. Okay. And the reason I've been on a search for that is because, for me personally, this is what I needed, right? So, I started off as an actor back I don't know, 10 years ago or more. And I just hated being a broke actor. So I went into real estate, and that got me down this road of learning about online marketing. And because I went into real estate, but then I didn't have, I didn't like it. And then the market crashed. And so I went from a job where I was making like $240,000 a year in real estate to $15,000 the next year. And I almost lost my house twice. And then I was really looking for this next thing that I was going to do. And so I went to look at online marketing, because I heard, man, there had to be a better way to get leads. And so I went online, started looking at leads, and it took me down this rabbit hole of learning about online marketing, which eventually took me down into learning about YouTube, because YouTube became the thing that I really focused on for a long time in my business, because that was my first course that I ever rolled out. I became a YouTube consultant working for companies like Estee Lauder and Dell. And through my own discovery of what finally allowed me to sell my courses and products, that is why I became the founder of EasyWebinar. Because for me, after I launched I became a consultant, and for the first year, I was building a course. I took 6 months to build a course, and while I was doing it, I was consulting with YouTube. So I had like 4 clients that were paying me recurring revenue, and so I was making a little money, not a lot, $1,500 to $2,000 per client. And I did that while building my course. And it took me 6 months to build my course. Now, if you ask me now, it could take me literally 4 weeks to build a course, but it took me 6 months to build my first course. And by the time I finally built it, I could not get it off the ground. I could not sell it. I didn't have a selling method. And that's when I started hearing about webinars. And that was, and in 2012, I remember it very distinctly. That was the year that I actually created my first webinar, the beginning of 2012. And in that year, I started selling my course through webinars. I priced my product at $200, and my first webinar, I remember it very distinctly. It was in the back farmhouse of it was in the back room of my wife's parents' farmhouse in Iowa, and it was a terrible webinar. There was a lot of people on because I had somebody promoting me, but I was just terrible at it. I overshared. The heater was blaring in the background. The internet would cut in and out. The mic was cutting in and out. But all said and done, that webinar made $2,000. And I realized at that time that, man, this actually does work. But and that was the only way I was ever able to sell. So in that first year of 2012, I actually was able to sell about $245,000 worth of my course online. That was my first experience. And then I realized, man, webinars are where it's at. Webinars, this is the only way I was ever able to do it. And then I started looking at trying to figure out, how could I leverage webinars more consistently? Because I was getting burnt out. I was running live webinars all the time. And that's when we founded EasyWebinar in 2013. And at the time, it was what's known as an automated webinar system, where it can play events in with the look and feel of live without you having to be there. And that was the first iteration of webinars as a sort of business or sales funnel. And that's what this software became initially. But it after then it evolved into a much bigger platform than that, serving a much larger audience and doing things like live webinars too, and automated webinars, and combining them together in a process. And so that's that process. And so during all this time, though, while I was building all this up, I had my wonderful wife. I was moving myself from being an actor into just kind of doing this, being an entrepreneur and building this business. Also, while all this was happening, my wife and I started to talk about adopting children, because my wife has always wanted to adopt kids. It was her first choice of anything. We never had fertility issues; just a thing that we wanted to do. So 4 years ago or so, we started the process of adopting our two sons, who are there in the picture to the left at the top. And this was a long process, and they're finally home. They've been home for a while now. But the process was very long, and all while that process was going on, we had a baby. And so now we have three kids, basically. Three kids. And my time, and this is what's interesting, is that I built a tool that would help people with their time, right? Give them more time back. I wanted to create a course online so I could have more time. But what I ended up doing after I created the course is I spent a lot of time in the business. But that's ultimately why I created a tool that would leverage the power of webinars without me having to be there all the time. I could still do webinars live, but I didn't have to do them all the time. And that's where things started really working. So for me, it was I built this tool based on the necessity of needing something that was going to sell my stuff without me having to be there, so I could have more time with my family, go on more vacations with my family, and things like that. And so we built up a very good business. And I'm I we do seven figures with our software and consulting. Um, I've personally been featured in Business Insider, Entrepreneur, Social Media Examiner, and more. And that's basically who I am. And I've also created every kind of sales funnel around. And here's the overview of a sales funnel. Now, if you want to take a screenshot of this, you can. These are the different things that we've done in terms of sales funnels. So here's traffic and advertisement all the way to the left side. Facebook, Instagram ads, Facebook Live, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube organic, podcasting, blogging, YouTube video ads. No matter what, we've done it all. I've tested out all of these things. And from traffic, you go to where you are driving the traffic to. So this is the start of the sales funnel, whether it's a free mini course or like a 4-video series, right? Or maybe a challenge or a contest, a 5-day challenge or contest. Those are popular. Live webinars, of course, those are popular, and automated webinars are popular as well. And the reason I say you can take a screenshot is because I talk about building your email list using GetDrip, ConvertKit, Entreport, ActiveCampaign, Infusionsoft, Constant Contact, but then using EasyWebinar for your webinars and potentially lead pages or ClickFunnels for your page builder as an option for some of the other funnels. Now, the reason I share this is because I just want to give you this data, give you this information. And then the offering typically is going to be like a course or membership or other product or coaching and consulting or even a service, right? And so all of these things, this is kind of the funnel that we've done. But let me strip everything away and tell you what works for us and what we focus on. Webinars, okay? We focus only on webinars, live webinars and automated webinars. That's it. And mostly automated webinars, okay? So we send traffic from Facebook or Instagram. Sometimes we'll do YouTube traffic. Send them to a automated webinar. We sell our courses. We sell our software. We sell our coaching program. And then we make sales. And so that's what we do. And so, I mean, guys, this is the power of what a webinar is. And let me go into detail. I mean, what can webinars be used for? Well, lead generation and list building, selling your online courses, qualifying your customers as a consultant or service, selling your physical products or books, selling affiliate programs and products, running virtual open houses, selling physical conferences, running virtual summits, running online classes for paid customers, right? So you can actually run webinars as your after you sell somebody into a course or program, you can then have those webinars be the fulfillment for that course or program. That's what we teach in my coaching program, basically how to structure an evergreen coaching program leveraging webinars. Running online weekly free classes for list building, building a know, like, and trust, and authority around education-based marketing. So you can actually do a launch with using webinars, and I'm going to share with you a little bit of our launch blueprint in a second here. But I want to also talk about the problem that I see. You see, there's a divide between deciding to do webinars and actually doing them. And I think this divide is created because you see people that are doing $100,000 webinars or hearing that there's six-figure webinars, and you're assuming that they're making this money out of one webinar at one instance in one time. And that's not the case, but it's creating a bigger gap between you thinking, hey, I want to do it, and doing it, because you have this preconceived notion that you have to be just knocking it out of the park with a webinar. I'm going to break down how you can have 30 people on a webinar and make basically $140,000, $150,000 a year with 30 people showing up on a weekly basis to a webinar. I'm going to show you that. It's a simple process, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So first off, does this sound like you? That you see big name people doing webinars and it seems totally intimidating, or I don't think webinars can work in my industry, or I get overwhelmed with all the tech of a webinar, so I never start, or I don't want to look like an idiot or say the wrong things, or I have a fear of trying it and failing, or what if I don't make any sales from it, or I don't have time to do a live webinar? Well, here's the deal. If you've had your ear to the grindstone, then you've heard every story as to why you won't succeed with webinars. You've probably heard that to profit with webinars, you need to be a neuro-linguistic expert or have public speaking experience. You've heard that you have to be a tech ninja to run them. And maybe oftentimes a bad webinar can tarnish your reputation forever. And the simple truth is that these stories are all hogwash. They are complete bull. No one cares. People are very forgiving. Everything breaks. Every technology has a problem. There are moments in life where, maybe your internet cuts out, or maybe your spouse is coming out of the bathroom and naked because she's coming from the shower. He's coming from the shower. There are so many weird things that you can't control. And it's really just about getting back up and doing it again. Because when I started out, I did terrible webinars. Remember, I shared with you, I was a classic oversharer. I would give too much information, but I still succeeded with webinars. And I'm going to show you two things that you need to profit with webinars. It's sincerity and value. People, they're so done with over salesy, too fluffy, and too manipulative. They just want authenticity and value. You have to know your stuff, so you have to have value, but you have to come at it from a very sincere point of view, right? They want to know who you are. They want to know what side of you connects with them on a heart level. You see, there's two ways people buy. People buy because you connect with them on a heart level and logic level, right? The heart is your own personal stories. Logic is the case studies that you provide, the backing it up with like statistics. Those are the two things that really generate sales. And sincerity and value, that's exactly what this is. So you basically show who you are, why you're here to solve the problem that they have, and then you show, here's how I'm going to solve the problem. And if you could do that, you're going to generate sales. I mean, I had a client, Jody, who when she came to us, she had a structure for a webinar that she got from somebody, and it was basically a pre-created structure that that was a template. And she thought, well, this is considered the perfect webinar, so I'm gonna just go off of this template. Anyway, when she did it, it did not resonate. It didn't resonate with the people that were on the call, and it didn't resonate with her. And so she never made any money on it. So when I talked to her, I said, listen, you need to drop that. You need to come at it from a different perspective. People are done with the cookie cutter webinar. They want an experience that feels more authentic. And so she started getting on where she showed her video. She talked to the audience directly. And her one webinar, this was great. A webinar did $19,000 in sales on the webinar during what's known as the fast action bonus time. And at the end of that webinar, she did about $30,000. So let me quickly show you the fastest way to get to 12K a month, leveraging one webinar ran once a week. So here's the first thing you need to do. You need to charge a minimum of $1,000 for your course, program, or product. Okay. So I want you to think about this: price based on results. Now, again, I am someone who is someone who is like, I talk about this all the time. I am I'm a proponent of raising your prices for your products, right? For me, I want to tell you what I did. I first sold my course at $200, and then I noticed after I did it, I did about 10 sales, but some of them were refunding, and I was like, how is this possible? The price isn't that high. And my initial thought was, well, now I have to lower my price because maybe that was the problem. And then I talked to someone who was like, no, it's the caliber of people that you're communicating with. Like, lowering your price is just going to perpetuate that refund. You're going to get more refunds. You're probably going to sell the same number. And so what I did instead of that is I started going the opposite direction. So I went from $200 for my course to $300. And an amazing thing happened. I sold double after I raised my pricing. I didn't change the offer. I sold double. I didn't change the webinar. I sold double. And then I had fewer refunds. And I realized that pricing, that the whole idea of why someone buys, my concept of it was completely backwards. And that's when I started looking at increasing my prices. So I went from then $300 because I had someone that said, Casey, I'd love to promote your course, but it has to be $1,000. And so I increased my price to $1,000. And I was nervous about it. I was like, well, is it valuable enough? I added a piece of coaching to it, like about 15 to 30-minute coaching to my course. And I charged $1,000. And what happened was I sold the same number of units at 1,000 as I did at 300. And I realized, and I had no refunds. And I realized that pricing brings in a higher caliber of people, right? Yeah. Because what people do is they devalue their own services, or they can't imagine someone will pay them. But that's not, pricing isn't based on your time. And that's the thing. Pricing is based on results. Okay. So think about the results that you can provide someone. It doesn't always have to be a monetary result. It can be literally any life-changing thing that they get. That's how you price your products. So that's why I'm saying price your programs at $1,000. Okay. If your program is getting results for people, I don't care. Sometimes I hear, well, I have a yoga, like, this is what I hear sometimes. Well, my audience won't pay that much. Well, then you're not connecting with the right audience. The reason they're not paying that much is because you're not charging enough to get the better clientele. You're thinking that if you raise your prices, you're not talking to the same audience. By nature, you're not talking to the same audience when you raise your pricing. When you raise your pricing, you're starting to talk to a different caliber of people. They may still resonate with your message, but now they're a different caliber of people. And so I really get discouraged when people, as you can see, I'm getting a little heated, when people say, well, my audience can't afford that. I'm like, you're not... because you're thinking that the same audience that pays you $50 is going to pay you $2,000. That's not the case, right? And don't worry, once you start to put your message out there and your offer and value, you and raise your prices, sometimes just simply raising your prices can do it. I have a blog article where I share all of this, how to create the perfect offer. If you guys want it, just put it in the comments, say, Casey, I'd love your blog post about the perfect offer. Okay. Okay, now number two. Okay, now so number one was raise your prices, pay up to $1,000, right? Get your program, your courses, whatever, your services, a minimum of $1,000. Now get a minimum of 30 people showing up to your webinar per week. And the question is how? Well, here's the how. You can find JV partners who are going to promote you. Okay. A place to find JV partners. This animation is kind of weird on there. Yeah, I'm just going to pull some of this out. So JV partners who are in vertical or similar niches to you, who will promote you out to their existing community. So you can join Facebook groups or LinkedIn groups and other places where you might find people who need your products and services. So search on Facebook for fan pages that look active, but where the fan page owners aren't doing any promotion or aren't sending their communities to a website, right? This is an opportunity to have your product or service feed the need of existing communities who aren't getting fed. Another way to find this list is your email list, right? 30 people, email. Maybe you already have a part of a community where you have started to collect targeted leads based on your product services into your own autoresponder or existing subscribers. Maybe you have people on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, etc. You can start to get these people into webinars. Okay. Paid ads. Here's another one that I use. Mostly I use this and organic traffic. But here, hey, this is what we do. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Google ads are great for targeting leads, finding targeted leads. You can use these ad platforms to send targeted traffic to your EasyWebinar registration page. Start collecting leads that can go through your webinars. Now, we're talking about the how. We're talking about how to get 30 people on a webinar. Here's the final strategy that I'm going to share with you that is really about organic traffic, doing stuff organically. So I show paid ads, but you can always post on YouTube, post on Instagram. Hey, I have a webinar running. Guys, sign up here, right? Post it on an Instagram story, post it on, all sorts of places. Now, I'm going to show you one strategy that has worked really well for our clients, and this is actually leveraging EasyWebinar. So EasyWebinar, as I mentioned, does live webinars. That you can do an HD live webinar where you're in front of the camera. You can also share your slides. You can put yourself. You can share your slides. You could share your screen. You could share a video. All the above. But one powerful thing that you can do is push a webinar, push your live event. When you get inside EasyWebinar, you can stream that live event into Facebook Live, right? Or YouTube Live, or both, right? And so here, let me show you. So all the way to the left here, underneath the text here, right? And we call this the EasyCast tool. You can broadcast and publish your existing live webinar while it's live to Facebook, right? And so you push it to Facebook. You can share it on your timeline. You could share it in a group. You could share it in one of your pages. And basically on the right side, you'll see that's what it looks like inside Facebook. So when I push it out to Facebook, I can be playing my webinar in real time. That's what it would look like. And the cool thing is, this is how you get leads showing up to your webinar. Here's a little ninja move here. So you start the event. You click record, right? Because you should push record in EasyWebinar. See how EasyWebinar has a record button over there. You publish to Facebook Live or YouTube Live or both, okay? And while you're doing your first maybe 10, 15 minutes of your webinar, or maybe it could be 5 minutes, you encourage people that are in Facebook, that are in YouTube, to join you inside of the EasyWebinar room where you're going to share the best stuff. So what you're going to tell them, you're going to tease them. You're going to put teaser content out, basically. This is what you're doing. You're putting teaser content. You're streaming out your webinar, putting it up and streaming it to Facebook and YouTube, but only the first 5 to 10 minutes of that webinar. And you're saying, hey, we're going to shut this off after 5 to 10 minutes. But if you guys want to stick around because I'm going to be sharing some good stuff, here's the link to come into the webinar, right? And so then from the live stream, just watching it on Facebook, where they haven't put their email in, they could just watch it. You've already started to attract them through the content you're sharing in the first 5 minutes. Now they're like, yeah, I want to sign up. So they go in and they actually start to sign up and get into the webinar room where they can chat with you. You can bring them up on the screen. You can do all sorts of cool stuff. And then, of course, keep them going. And that is a really powerful way to build your email list using EasyWebinar's EasyCast tool and inside of Facebook. Okay, so once you do that, the goal here is now to convert 10% of those who show up as clients. So 30 people showing up, right? And 3 of them become a customer. Now, that's doable. You know why it's doable? Because that's what I did. And I was doing terrible webinars, but I still was able to close about 3 people into a $1,000 product, right? Because webinars, even if you are not doing them all that great, you can convey enough. As long as you're conveying enough of value and sincerity, you're going to do well. And so by doing this, number 3 is converting 10% of those who show up, you're going to do sales. Now, I'm going to show you a fast way to do the conversion, get higher conversions using what is called the event launch blueprint. So let me show you this. So most people typically do 1 out of these 4 crucial events. And by doing so, you leave money on the table. So what I'm going to show you is how to double, triple, and even quadruple your sales with a webinar, no matter how small of a community you have. And let me show you what it is. So here's what it is. Typically people do a live webinar, right? And this is what I was telling you. I challenge you to do a live webinar a week. That's 1 hour, right? Where you make sales, right? And it's at a specific date, at a specific time. You invite people, they get the emails and they show up to the webinar, right? And that's sometimes what only people do. That's all they do. And oftentimes what we hear from clients is no one buys except on the live webinar. However, when using this system, you can actually get people to buy even off of when they're not on your live webinar. And let me show you what that looks like. You would then go in. So after you do a live event, you would go into EasyWebinar and run a rebroadcast of that same event. So you take that, what was once live, because with EasyWebinar, you could take a live event that you just ran and turn it into an automated webinar. And the cool thing about that is you can actually go into the same webinar and rebroadcast that webinar to stream a couple times for the next day. But it's pre-recorded, so it's the previous live session. You keep the same webinar. You basically are keeping the same webinar. You're just changing people's perception of it. And what that does is now you're getting sales more consistently, because what typically happens is people do live events and then there's no registration page. It says no registration available, and you're not collecting leads. But when you do it this way, where you run a rebroadcast of that same event, right? And you do it, say, that same evening or the next day, you're basically leveraging EasyWebinar to transition from live to automated, and then you're selling more of your stuff. Because if you have a worldwide audience, when you toggle the webinar from live and allow it to stream the event that was live in different time zones that match maybe a worldwide audience, then now you're collecting basically more leads and you're getting more sales, right? And so this is the next step. Most people don't do this, and you're leaving money on the table. They also don't set up a replay correctly. Like the people do replays of the webinar, but the thing that they don't do is they don't have replays that will expire. They don't have scarcity in the replays. They don't offer bonuses that will expire. And so if you can do these 3 things, where you offer bonuses that will expire, you run a rebroadcast of the same event that you just did on the first day, but you run it the next day, let's say twice in that day, you'll get way more sales than before, and you'll get at least 10% of a conversion. So even if you only sold 1 on your live webinar and 30 people were there, you'll get another one on the rebroadcast and another one on the limited time replay. Okay. Now, That's just when you run a live webinar on a weekly basis and your goal is trying to get to $12,000 a month. This will get you there. But now what I want to do is show you that and ask you a question. Is it possible to build an entire scalable business using webinars as a sales system? My belief is true. And for me, I was able to build an email list of 14,000 people, make a comfortable 7 figures online every single year. But the thing I want to share with you is that live webinars, you're still held to your own bandwidth, right? Just like some of our clients had, they were held to their own bandwidth, right? I'm going to share a couple of them in a little bit here, but I want to show you a solution to scalability in your market, in your marketing. And after you run your webinar and you convert 10% of your webinar attendees, it's time to take that live webinar experience and now evergreen it. And this is going to be the entry point into now selling your courses 24/7 using webinars. Okay, guys, get ready. So you're going to turn that live webinar into basically what's known as an automated webinar, right? And this is sales while you sleep. So once your live event is over, you can basically turn your what was once live into an event that's streamed out in your attendees' time zone in real time. And it's leveraging the power of automated webinars. And this is one of the pieces that is EasyWebinar. We create a like live experience for people. And so what is an automated webinar or evergreen webinar? Well, an automated webinar is a like live environment that allows you to run your business while your ability to generate leads and sales continues without you. And an automated webinar basically is a pre-recorded video streamed in real time. And the awesome thing about an automated webinar is you create it once and it works for you over and over again. And an automated webinar can be scheduled in your attendees' time zone. So if you have a worldwide audience, that means you'll get more sales and leads. And an automated webinar can create your perfect presentation. You can create a perfect presentation, a full blown successful funnel built around engagement. And a good automated webinar system can stream an event in real time with the look and feel of being live and in your attendees' own time zone. Very cool. And they are way more valuable than just, let's say, a replay alone. The difference is that a replay is something that anyone can come to at any moment at any time, which takes no commitment and often is treated as such. So my secret sauce for using automated webinars for most all of our sales funnels is driving paid automated traffic to an automated webinar. So we'd send traffic from Facebook into, let's say, just an automated a registration page that is built with EasyWebinar. And this is a page that I built where I had John Lee Dumas, and we were doing a webinar promotion for him. And so I want to share this. There are 2 types of evergreen webinar funnels that most of our clients use. And so this event is a little different. I'm going deeper into what our people are really doing with webinars. So they are creating high ticket coaching funnels where they're basically selling $3,000 or more in services, coaching programs, etc. Oftentimes, they're not selling directly from the webinar. What they're doing is they create a call to action from the webinar to get on a strategy call. Okay. Now, the other one is a direct sale from webinar, right? And this is where people are selling products that are anywhere from $97 to $2,000, or maybe $47 a month, or maybe a yearly price of a program. SaaS companies do it. Product creators, membership sites. You could do all these things and sell them on webinars. This is basically what people are doing. This is how we see it. 2 of these. Now, for me personally, I love the high ticket service and consultant funnel. And I'll tell you why. Because it's easier for you to generate top line revenue. You know what? It's selling your course or your program or your SaaS via a webinar. That's sexy, sure, but it takes way longer to get that perfect. It's easier to do a funnel like this where you offer a strategy call. There's more room for error, okay? But this is what it looks like. So you send people from Facebook, right? From a Facebook ad to an automated webinar registration page. Here's EasyWebinar right here. And then they come to the thank you page where you may have a video, right? So you can have a video. This is all of what EasyWebinar does. Creates all the pages for you. You can add video to the pages, text. On the thank you page, it has a calendar where you can share. It will save the date. You could share news to unlock a free gift on the webinar thank you page. Then we have emails going out using EasyWebinar, where then we'll send to the countdown page. A countdown page will count down prior to the event starting. And on this particular page, you can have video, you can have text, you can have other like offers even showing on this page. Right here, though, we have just a countdown showing. And then they've come into the webinar. In the webinar room, the experience is really awesome. You can have you in front of the camera. You could be sharing your screen. You could be sharing a presentation. You could be sharing a video, and you could be sharing up to 4 presenters. At the time that I'm making, at the time of this masterclass, we have the ability to have 4 presenters in a room and all sorts of cool stuff. And then from the event page, you offer an application. You want them to say, hey, listen, we're taking applications for our program, apply here. And they come through and they apply and they get into your calendar. And now you're selling them into a program, right? And this is a high ticket or service or consulting funnel. Basically, this is how it looks. And the idea behind Evergreen is that it sells on autopilot. So no matter what, this ad, your Facebook ad is always running, and your webinar is always running without you there. And people can register for it at any time, any part of the day that they get there. If they're coming there at 2 a.m., they can register for webinars that are happening maybe at 9 a.m. the next day and 2 p.m. that day. And that's the cool thing about EasyWebinar is that you can schedule all this up to have the experience of live without you having to be there. Evergreen is the true 24/7 sales, and that's exactly what EasyWebinar can do. And so this is one of our top funnels that a lot of our people use. And this is basically offering a strategy call, as I said. Here's one of our clients that really hit home with this. His name is David Ortiz, and David had an ad from Facebook going to a registration page and getting someone straight into a strategy call. This is basically doing a 20-minute. He did a 20-minute webinar, short webinar that had high impact. And as soon as we turned this ad on for him, he within about 9 days, this is the message he sent. Gentlemen, we have hit a home run. I had my first call with a webinar participant today, and it went so well. He has over 2 million in assets. Love the way I branded and marketed my service. Thought the ad and the webinar were very well done, and I'm sure he's signing up with me. I'm now going to do his risk profile and match his portfolio for him. Thank you for taking my vision and making it a reality. So I found out from David that he did in fact land this client who paid him, I think, just to manage this portfolio is like 5 figures, like 15,000 a year or something like that. And that was his first customer and client. So this stuff really does work. It works for just getting in front of your audience, rising above what other people are doing with their, quote unquote sales funnels. Here's another client, Stacy, who sells acne and skincare courses. And she does about 15,000 a month on autopilot, selling her courses from the webinar. Now, she then has moved into actually building out a coaching program too, because she likes the idea of selling a higher ticket where she can create a bigger impact for people. So now she started doing that. She said, I just sold my first $3,000 program this morning. I'm so elated. Thank you for all your help. And it's powerful. So having both is good. We have both. We have one webinar that sells a high ticket program and another webinar that sells EasyWebinar, basically, right? And here's some other clients. Here's Janelle B. Stewart, who used this same methodology. Now, these people, by the way, are in our coaching program where we teach them how to build this out and how to sell on these coaching calls and stuff like that. So she did basically she had 7 strategy calls. So she got 435 people signed up for a webinar, 99 attendants, 16 filled out the application. They talked to 7 so far, 3 signed up. 2 get paid on Friday, so we shall see. So that means out of 7 strategy sessions, 5 we're going to fund, okay? Which is 70% close ratio. So, she just right out of the gate started kicking butt with this. So she was launching her program every month and getting burnt out. Like she has a lot of kids. So what she was doing previous to doing this is that she was having to do launch after launch after launch. So what we worked on with her is getting her into an evergreen funnel where she is selling her coaching program, right? And doing this via an application, so she made more revenue. And since then, she's just been doing some great stuff. Now, am I saying that selling a direct on a webinar is you shouldn't do? No, absolutely, I'm not saying that. I mean, that's the holy grail. But the good news is that we give you guys a ton of support in wanting in doing that. So so this is what this looks like, right? When you're selling directly on a webinar, you send them paid traffic, webinar sign up form, presentation, and you sell a quality product. I mean, basically, it's designed, you need to have a quality product and you need to have a high converting sales webinar to be able to even sell a program or course, right? And I do have another training all about the 6 steps to a high converting sales webinar. If you guys want that training, I do have that available. And it's leveraging the power of EasyWebinar. It's leveraging some of the things that I mentioned already today. But it's a 6-step framework to a high converting sales webinar. And if you guys are wondering, do automated webinars really do work? Well, there was an article that was done by Segmetrics a long time ago, actually. And it highlighted one of our clients, John Lee Dumas, who's the founder of Entrepreneur on Fire. And John Lee Dumas had a problem. He came to me a long time ago with a problem of running live webinars, where he was running a live webinar once a week and it was converting, but no one was buying on the replay. And he was getting burnt out. And so I was like, let's come up with a plan for automating some of this. So we created an automated webinar and a plan. I'm going to show you this in a little bit here. And then Segmetrics did this article all about the quality of the webinar registrants. So what we found out was that leads who registered for an automated webinar they were worth $81 each. That's 243% more than the leads who did not go through the automated webinar. And so this is hard data that was proven and looking at EasyWebinar stats of John Lee Dumas's stats inside of Infusionsoft, basically. So what this simply means is that people that go through a webinar process, they are more engaged, they are higher quality, and basically there's 243% higher quality than the people that didn't go through the webinar, meaning that other people may have gone and picked up a PDF or registered for a video series or something else, right? What this just shows is that when people go through a webinar, they have a higher know, like, and trust. It builds that deeper connection, and you sell better, period. And so, as I said, John had that problem of 1.5 million in 1 year, but he was getting burnt out. So we came up with a strategy of doing an organic auto webinar podcasting funnel. And when we launched this out, within about a week, he did 16,000 in sales. And this basically allowed him to only do 1 live webinar a month. So instead of 4 a month, he brought it down to 1 a month, gave him more time to do more things in his business. And this is what the funnel looked like. He had a free podcast course that pushed from iTunes. And every single one of these podcast episodes promoted the webinar as well as promoted his course. And so they sign up for a free podcast course. And then he'd dripped out like 11 emails. And in all of those emails, at the footer, it said, by the way, sign up for our streamed workshop if you want to get results faster. And so people would be signing up for that because they didn't want to have to go through and wait 11 days to get all the information when the workshop had it all in one fell swoop. And so they registered for the workshop. They came in and boom, he turned them into clients. And this is very powerful. It happened not just with John, but many, many customers like Dale Partridge, who within 16 days within 10 days of getting EasyWebinar, made 16,000. This is using an EasyWebinar pages right here. And same with this. This is using EasyWebinar's pages right here as well. So they're customizable, as you can see. And then this is the other thing. Dale sent this 1 month after. Look at the PS at the bottom. It said, made almost $100,000 so far with EasyWebinar. So this stuff is doable. And the reason I focus on this is because there's a lot of distraction out there. We think we have to post on Facebook, post on WordPress, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, set up a podcast, do all sorts of stuff when, a lot of these things can overcomplicate what you're doing. A lot of these things can just be busy work that's not getting you anywhere. And that's the reason I like focusing on one specific strategy, one specific outcome. And so I love paid ads and I drive them to a webinar. And I really love high ticket because it's faster to create, it's a shorter webinar, and it gives you more high touch response and you can get results in a shorter period of time, right? Because, I think that's what people care about. I think that's what people care about. They care about getting results on a bigger level because, I think people are over the info death trap. They're over just getting information. It's just don't keep feeding them with more stuff and more stuff and more stuff. People want clearer, more designed strategies and then how to get results from those strategies. So because information creates excitement, sure, but then it creates no action and then you're left miserable. Where if you're promoting transformation, which a high ticket program should, you create enlightenment. And from enlightenment, you get massive action. And from massive action, you get results. People actually take action and then they get results. So instead of sending them more stuff to do with the information, like don't feed them, hundreds and hundreds of videos and thinking then you can raise your prices. No, in fact, sometimes higher the prices, the less content because it's now clearer, more defined content. It's clarity. So do this, simplify and optimize. That's the plan. That's what I think you should do. The new way is this: paid traffic to an evergreen webinar registration page. You have a presentation and you then close people into becoming customers and clients and you make sales, right? Simplicity equals ROI. Okay. So just imagine being able to earn $50K a month consistently every month without having to do more work, right? You would need, if you're selling a $1,000 product, you need 50 clients buying it. If you're selling a $10,000 product, you only need 5, right? What would that do for your life, right? So how do you do this? The question is, how can you do all of this? How can you create these funnels? How can you create this better life? Through the power of EasyWebinar. And I've already shared this with you. You guys know this. So EasyWebinar, for those who are still unclear as to what it does exactly, is an all-in-one webinar event suite that does both live and automated webinars. It's basically a sales funnel tool that's disguised as a webinar, as well as a live stream technology that replaces Zoom, GoToWebinar, any other Webinar Jam, any other platform that's out there. Okay. But as I said, it's basically a funnel builder. So it creates every page of what is considered a funnel. So your registration page is your landing page. Your thank you page is like your thank you page. Your event is your call to action page, right? Where you provide them content. And then you have your offer. And then you have emails going out. And then you have you can rebroadcast that same event to send out the next day and you're getting more people buying. And then you can send out a timed replay page. And all of these things create sales, okay? And EasyWebinar creates all of them for you. So EasyWebinar creates the registration page, the webinar thank you page where you can have the video, as I said, the countdown page, the event page, the timed replay page where you can actually have a timer on there and where it'll expire. So our replay pages actually have scarcity built into them. They can expire based on an evergreen, when someone registers and in whatever time zone on evergreen or date based. And then we have other cool stuff like one-click registration. So people can actually, from your email, you can send out a link that will auto-register people into a webinar. And this is great because you can then use webinars as the follow-up, for maybe you want to sell on a webinar. So you bring them to a sales page, they buy off the sales page. In the first email going out, you have a link to the webinar that they just paid for. They click on it and it auto registers them for that link for that webinar, and it's completely protected. You can also do this for after someone becomes a customer buying your membership or buying your product or program, send them into an onboarding webinar, and it all can be automated. That webinar can be an automated webinar, right? And this is basically the back end of EasyWebinar. So first you choose a title for your webinar. You decide if you want to make your webinar a one-time event or a recurring event, right? You decide if you want to stream it out in your attendees' local time zone, which means basically if you're streaming it out in your attendees' local time zone, that means that you'll get more people registered. So like, for instance, if I stream it out at 2 p.m., in my attendees local time zone, if you're in Singapore and you land on the page, it's going to show your 2 p.m. If you're in Los Angeles and you land on the page, it's going to show Los Angeles's 2 p.m. So it's convenient to them, and then it'll stream out the event in that person's time zone in real time with the experience of live, right? And then you go through the process of building out your webinar. You can create an amazing registration page. You can nail down your thank you page. You can use you can put video, all sorts of cool stuff on there. You could have offer up a incentive for people to share news of the event to unlock a free gift. So if they share a PDF, it will unlock. If they share news to their Facebook or Twitter, they can unlock and get a free gift. And so what we've noticed is 10 to 15% more viral traffic comes when you implement this share incentive tool that we have inside of EasyWebinar, right? So you do your thank you page, and here's your event page. And if you're doing a live webinar, you just run your live webinar. If you're doing an automated webinar, you can upload different kinds of videos. See, with EasyWebinar, you can upload pre-existing MP4 videos, right? That are basically videos that then will stream with the look and feel of live. Now, you can use Vimeo, you can use Wistia, you can use Amazon S3, you can use YouTube, or you can select from a previous session that was once live, right? And this is how you do the rebroadcast. You just select one of the previous live sessions and you stream it out with the look and feel of live. And it's the easiest way to do it. EasyWebinar also has all the events emails, so you don't need another email system. EasyWebinar has everything. It has the email notifications for before the event, after the event. You can also, though, connect your favorite CRM or email autoresponders for after the webinar. So you get after webinar magic. So as soon as someone registers, you can add it to like ActiveCampaign, and from ActiveCampaign, then we have triggers that can go out, and you could do your follow-up emails if you wanted to through ActiveCampaign, because we basically send you the action stuff of what happens in the webinar. So if someone registers, shows up, how much of the webinar they watch, if they click on a buy now button, if they clicked on the button but didn't buy. We have all of these things that now you can create segmented follow-up emails based around actions performed during the webinar. Also, you can connect your webinar to the outside world. So a big part of this, remember I was showing you, this is like Facebook ads and things like that. And so you can add third-party scripts like Facebook Pixels or Google Analytic Pixels or things like Get More Proof. All these different things that you can add here so that you can actually make sure that you're tracking conversions, right? You can also do SEO settings. You can make your webinars optimized, rename the page URLs, customize your countdown page, have social meta tags set so that when you push out, let's say, to Facebook or Twitter, you have the right title, you have the right description, you have the right image that goes out to those platforms. And then, of course, you have analytics, because you need to start seeing the amazing results that are coming, right? So you can see who shows, who watched the replay, who took action. And inside EasyWebinar, which we're going to go into in a second here and do a, I'm going to show you basically a demo pretty soon here. But inside here, you can actually filter out how much of someone watched. So you can go say, I want to see how many people watch more than 30% or 50%, and then filter those people out. You can export that list. You can have that list push that data directly into one of your existing CRMs or autoresponders or email providers. And so it's pretty amazing stuff. And so, EasyWebinar is holistically a webinar platform, but a sales and analytic tool that will help to basically generate you more money more often. And it was basically designed to do three things: get you more customers, keep the customers you have, and save you time and ultimately money. Now, when we talk about getting more customers, we're talking about running live or evergreen webinars that build a know, like, and trust that do the selling for you. And when we're talking about keeping the customers you have, we're talking about by using evergreen webinars or live webinars for onboarding your new clients, customers, and employees. And we talk about save you time and ultimately money by going beyond the one-to-many ratio that of marketing that a live webinar allows, and entering into evergreen webinars that ultimately duplicate your success over and over again without you having to be there. Such as what happened with Rick Mulready, who used Facebook and EasyWebinar, make 166% ROI, allowing him to scale up his marketing on autopilot. And this is what he said: one of my biggest wins this year is using Facebook ads to EasyWebinar. Your team is awesome. When there's an issue that comes up, you guys are right on it. I couldn't be happier. And so, EasyWebinar basically is that full live and automated webinar marketing automation tool. We've got the built-in templates, right? Where you have registration page, thank you page, event page, replay page, everything, all the pages of a funnel. Live HD webinars, right? Using our live engine. We have our EasyCast, right? Where you can send out your live webinar into Facebook Live and YouTube Live at the same time. And then, of course, the bread and butter, because this is where the majority of people generate the top line sales using our system through automated webinars. Live webinars, yes, people are using it and they're loving it, and they're generating revenue. But the people that are selling all the time, the people that are getting 60,000 leads a month through our system and doing millions of dollars with our system, are leveraging automated webinars, because that's the true goal of selling 24/7. If you're just starting out, my vision for you is get EasyWebinar, start with live webinars, try to get up to that 12,000 point for your webinar, get 10% conversion, turn that into an automated webinar and start scaling up from there. My goal for you is to be able to sell your courses, your programs, your coaching, your services, and start to generate millions of dollars a year using our system like many of our clients do. But you have to start at point A. And the beautiful thing about EasyWebinar is that we start you there. We can get you there in a fast way, and then you can grow with us, right? We are a fully hosted platform. There's no need for WordPress, no need to host any other pages. We do everything for you. You don't need anything else when you get EasyWebinar. In fact, you don't need an email system if you didn't want to have it. You could use EasyWebinar. You could download the emails that you get into a CSV. You can email them specifically or upload that to a different platform. EasyWebinar is completely holistic. We have the reminder notifications. We have one-click signups. We do have the APIs with Drip, ActiveCampaign, ConvertKit, Aweber, Infusionsoft, Entreport, MailChimp, GetResponse, and more, so that you can do direct email integration. But we also have a Zapier integration, which allows you to go even beyond that, where you can do SMS texts, ManyChat, all sorts of cool stuff can be integrated into EasyWebinar through Zapier. We also then push during our live webinars. You have a live offers and chat, private and public chat. We have cool emojis that you can send through when you're doing a live webinar. For automated webinars, we have our advanced webinar scheduling, right? But and then also you can have a question box, or you can create timed offers that show up at specific times during your automated webinars, right? And so it does have that look and feel of live. And I want you to start thinking about different uses. So consider using automated webinars as your program that you sell. So here's Bob Proctor, who's an EasyWebinar client. And Bob did a masterclass and created a program where basically it was evergreen. He sold an evergreen. He sold this event. He said, hey, come to this workshop. So he sold this workshop. People would pay for it. And then, just like I showed you before, that one-click registration, in the email, they come to this page where they just bought his workshop. And this webinar is a workshop, but then it also sells his other next bigger program. So he gets people into a lower ticket workshop and then sells his higher ticket coaching from the workshop. It's a very cool way of using EasyWebinar. And here's Jay Shetty, one of the top motivational experts online right now, and he runs a live launch using evergreen elements using EasyWebinar. And during one particular time, he did about 155,000 registrants in like about a 5-day period of time. And you could just see from the stats, he just had massive numbers. Everything worked perfectly, resulting in 6 figures in recurring monthly income from this campaign, leveraging the power of EasyWebinar for evergreen webinars, because he has a worldwide audience. So people were able to come from India to watch the webinars at the time that they wanted to watch, China, US, Canada, wherever they were coming from, Europe. They could watch in their own time zone. You can see here, see how it shows the time that someone watches? So there's 9 and 10, 9 and 10, 10. He only had like maybe a select a few options of like 9 a.m., 10 a.m., and maybe 2 p.m. But you could see where people are registering from. So they're coming from India, Central, they're coming from, Eastern Standard, et cetera, et cetera. And they're watching these events in their local time zone at those specific times that Jay set in EasyWebinar. Here's a couple other people. Here's Terry Hunter, and this is literally when I was running a live webinar. Terry was putting a, this is using our chat over here on the left. He is in real estate, and the people were starting to just tell me what results they're getting. He said, had the thrill of a homeowner who had a $1 million house read my book, went to my 15-minute easy webinar, then to a Calendly, his calendar basically, then to a 1-hour phone call. Yay. And he said, I said, did you get the sale? And he said, still working on it. It would be a $30,000 commission. But then he said, he also referred me to a neighbor for a sale of 1.9 million. So this stuff does work. And in many different industries, if you're in a service business and you're like, I don't know if this is going to work. No, like just think about how Terry did it. He got people from his book. His book was an entry point. His book at every end part of his book, he had a link to his Easy Webinar event. That event was only 15 minutes, which encouraged people to get on a strategy call with him. And from that, he's getting sales. He's getting listings, right? Here's on the right side, Joshua Wagner, who actually used Easy Webinar as the backbone to his business to get people into his congregation at his church, right? So I want you to start thinking of all these different interesting ways you could do it. Here's Tanya Eliza, who has a very, very successful a very successful MLM business, but also she sells her courses. So she says, I run 2 very successful automated webinars for the last 2 years. And about a month ago, we were scrambling to find a new platform because our old one was giving us grief and we were losing tons of money. I bought EasyWebinar last year and it didn't really have everything we needed. So we put it on the back burner and waited to see if it would get the features we asked for. Casey said they were coming, but I needed to wait. Not only did Casey and the team create the features we needed, but they have some of the best support I've ever seen in our space. We finally have everything moved over to EasyWebinar. It's running perfectly, so much better than before, with no complaints or streaming issues or anything. And our revenue has slightly increased too. It's so great to be aligned with you guys. Thank you so much for caring about your clients and taking care of us the way you do. It means the world to me. Thanks for listening to my request, and here's to many years together. Love you guys. This is Tanya Eliza. She's doing really great. Again, she's doing about probably $200,000 to $300,000 a month in recurring revenue for her webinars. And so we don't take that responsibility lightly. And of course, she went and came back to us, right? And so what we look for is people that realize that we're always growing, we're always adding benefits, and we have such a high support system here that you guys will succeed. Here's Mark, who said, you guys rock. You always are adding new functionality. I love EasyWebinar. Just ran my first auto webinar last week, made over $8,000. Best auto platform I have used. Brian King, not a question, but I'm a fan of EasyWebinar. We have our first live webinar tomorrow and Friday, and we're using EasyWebinar. So far, it's been amazing. One-stop shop for everything from building the registration pages, pre-post email sequences, including putting a replay link in the first post webinar email and being able to share our offers with the live webinar with a countdown. Also, Jim at EasyWebinar has been great for answering all our questions. Yeah, you could actually push off an offer with a countdown timer. So you can say, hey, this offer is only going to be available for 5 minutes. It's a very, I mean, that's just one of 100 different pieces of 100 different things we do with EasyWebinar. Here's Brad. Got EasyWebinar Sunday, watched the tutorial, set up my first webinar today, and boom, $15.79 in sales for a 1-hour Webby. Here's David saying, I just want to let you know that I've made over 107,000 since last August using EasyWebinar. Here is this is John at the top, and I really love this quote. I would like to personally thank you for your awesome product. EasyWebinar is contributing to about 90% of my income since I started using it in November. I'm making $20,000 a month. He started using it in November 2014. I'm making $20,000 a month without fail. I was making $5K before that, so big thing. So we've had people using our system for years just as the backbone to their business. Here's Lisa. Looking forward to my next successful webinar with EasyWebinar. I'm so glad I brought the software. It's made my life so much easier, and I'm really starting to enjoy hosting enjoy hosting, training webinars. Next step, automated webinars. Here's Bozadar. Here's Eric and April Perry. Casey has changed our lives. We are doing 2 to 3 live webinars a week with a family and a job. I was tired, but with your automated system in place, we have freedom and sales coming in consistently. Thank you. You know, April and Eric, I met with our 1%ers. These are people that are doing millions a year with EasyWebinar. And when I met with them, they shared with me the things that they really wanted, their wish list. And we've been rolling in that wish list because ultimately, if we help them to succeed, that trickles down to everyone in our community. And so we've been doing more and more of that. Here's Amanda Bucci, who runs a very successful coaching program. She said, Casey Zeman has a dope webinar platform. He helped my team work through. So thanks very much. We helped her to close a lot of her sales on a 6-figure launch she did. Here's Kimra Luna for live webinar. Casey's software helped me run over 50 successful webinars. Casey genuinely cares about the results of his community and is consistently stepping up his game to make his software the best out there. On those webinars, I was able to grow my email list and my bank account quickly. Thanks, Casey. Here's Corey, also sharing some great results. My designer made 2K using EasyWebinar. Just a lot of wonderful results. We have Alana Convalia, who actually does about $100,000 a month using our system. We have Amy Porterfield, who has 3 powerful funnels running through EasyWebinar that generate several millions a year. She leverages our registration widget that can go on any third-party page. So she actually is using her own registration page, but using what, as you see at the bottom, is our pop-up light box that can go on any third-party page built with ClickFunnels or Leadpages or Kajabi or Unbounce or any page builder tool. And here's some more results from successful people like you. Jason Crusoe did 13 in sales from basically 1 automated webinar. Diane Wilkins created $4,000 to $5,000 in recurring monthly revenue from using EasyWebinar as and this is interesting, she used it as a tool to build a network online, right? Where she would stream and she would schedule events and she would use EasyWebinar to schedule the events, but she had it all from this page that basically was like a network, right? For motivational experts. Kimra Luna did $900,000 in 1 year using EasyWebinar as her live webinars. Here's another person, Jeremy Bellotti, who used our system to funnel in high qualified, ready to go clients. He was a model to his clients because he not only used this funnel, but then turned around and charged his clients in excess of $10K to build out these funnels for them. He became someone who used EasyWebinar and built out webinar funnels. He brought in $20K in 2 days from just 15 calls, leveraging EasyWebinar to get people into strategy calls and then got them set up with EasyWebinar to do the same thing, right? He said, I was watching what you were doing for a while, Casey, and realized that fitness brands need automated webinar workshops to build that one-on-one engagement on autopilot. Since adding this into our toolkit, we have seen our client retention increase by 3 times. It's easier to negotiate a higher price package when you tell them it's going to position them on a recurring automated basis that can continue to make them sales. So, I've been showing you a lot of different things, a lot of testimonials from people that are leveraging and selling their programs, selling services, and heck, even selling EasyWebinar and automated webinar services, right? So basically, this is for anyone who is either has a business, looking to grow a business. Maybe you're a marketer and you are even trying to figure out better ways to sell to your existing clients. Maybe you want to learn how to leverage the power of webinars so that you can sell webinar funnels, right? The best time to jump in is now. So, and that's how I feel. I mean, if you're wondering, like, when should I jump into webinars? Am I too early? Am I too late? No, the best time to do it is right now. Okay. And the best tool is EasyWebinar. And so I want to share with you the investment because, when we initially decided on this, we decided that an investment of just $2,000, basically $2,000 paid annually, was fair for our 500 attendees on our live engine, unlimited attendees with YouTube Live, and unlimited evergreen webinar, and doing unlimited evergreen webinars, including our Facebook live stream tool. So we figured out this is our pro package. So we said $2,000 for our pro package, which included the 500 attendees, unlimited attendees with YouTube Live, and unlimited evergreen webinar attendees and webinars, was fair, right? Because just one live webinar with 30 attendees selling 1K product run through EasyWebinar could easily recoup your investment and more, because that's, of course, that 10% conversion that I share with you and how to do it. And of course, the other side of that is, or if you had one evergreen webinar running, selling your courses, products, coaching, or service, that could be your main source of revenue, like many of our clients, right? Like as John said, EasyWebinar is contributing to about 90% of my business. We are the backbone to his business. And I said, we don't take that responsibility lightly. But one webinar can be your six-figure webinar. But one automated webinar can be that, right? Or seven-figure webinar for that matter. Especially considering that other software like GoToWebinar, which only does live events and replay events, charges almost $2,400 for their 500 attendee webinar package. And it only does live webinars. It doesn't have live plus evergreen webinars or expiring replay pages. And it doesn't do YouTube Live as well. So we have YouTube Live. You can actually stream through YouTube Live using our system, not just push to YouTube Live, and it doesn't have the Facebook Live, it doesn't have our EasyCast tool. GoToWebinar doesn't have any of that capability. It doesn't syndicate the content on Facebook, syndicate it on YouTube. Then we thought, we not only wanted to have a better feature set for marketing your business by creating awesome live and evergreen webinar funnels, but we also realized that we wanted to do it at a fraction of the price. So instead of $2,000 a year, which is still less than GoToWebinar, we thought to drop it even more to $129 a month paid yearly, which is $1,548. $1,548, okay? $1,548 for basically everything, access to all the features of EasyWebinar, the whole feature set of EasyWebinar, 500 live attendees, and everything, right? That include, as I just said, all the mouth-watering features of EasyWebinar and special goodies, 500 live attendees with EasyWebinar Live Engine, unlimited webinar attendees using our YouTube live hosting, because we do that as well, unlimited evergreen webinars, push button offers with tracking, live chat, public and private, for co-presenter functionality, email hosting, responsive, customizable, and high converting webinar pages, full analytics system, advanced CRM and email provider integrations, Facebook live stream tool, YouTube live stream tool, timed replay pages, a 30-day onboarding training. That's another thing we have. And all of this is what you get with EasyWebinar. However, we thought of doing one additional thing, because we know you're on the webinar. So what we decided is, because you're on the webinar, we decided to do one better and drop the investment down for the yearly bundle to only $1,080 a year. which gets you all of that, which gets you everything I just shared. $1080 a year instead of 15, not even 2000, not even 15, but $1080 a year. So this is the time to get EasyWebinar Pro today. This is our pro level. 500 live attendees, unlimited live webinars using YouTube Live, unlimited automated webinars, unlimited attendees, live offers and chat, automated chat features, advanced analytic dashboard, evergreen replay pages, Facebook Live tool, YouTube Live tool, various webinar templates and funnels, 30-day onboarding, priority onboarding call and VIP chat. So if you guys are thinking, well, what kind of support are we going to get? This is the level of support, okay? VIP chat support. This is the type of thing we can do for you, okay? But before you go running off to get it, we have a special opportunity for you, okay? Because when you come in on this webinar, I have thousands of dollars in bonuses that I wanted to give you as well, okay? So let me crack out some bonuses here. So during this webinar, when you come in, I'm going to give you, this is an online live class, automated high ticket coaching webinar funnel training. Okay. This is valued at $1,000. And this is a live class you'll be able to get access to. An automated webinar course or product sales webinar funnel, right? So when you're selling a course directly from a webinar, we're going to do a training on that. That's valued at $1,000. The 6 steps to a high converting sales webinar. If you're really wanting to figure out, well, how do I create a 6-figure sales webinar? How do I get those in conversions? This is what I'm also going to be giving you. This is $1,000 additional, right? And you can get any of these bonuses, by the way, when you pick up any of EasyWebinar, okay? So if like literally you just went to the EasyWebinar page, pricing page, and you were like, you know what, I feel like I want to get the standard package, which comes with 100 live attendees, right? We will still give you those 3 bonuses. And maybe you decided you want to pay monthly or yearly, we'll still give you that. But we want to incentivize you on this webinar to pick up the pro account at annual, the annual pro account. So paying the annual pro, which is $1080 per year. And we have a really ridiculous fast action bonus to incentivize you. I want to really just give you something so amazing that you guys are like, okay, yes, I'm doing this. Here's what it is. The complete webinar learning system on how to kill it with webinars and EasyWebinar. This is a product called Elite Webinar Mastery that sells for $2,000 on its own. And it is the proprietary webinar selling system that we use that a lot of our clients are in. Hundreds of people have gone through this program, and it is what is getting them success, right? They take this with EasyWebinar, and immediately they just start to have amazing results. Because here's the thing, you kind of need a webinar strategy for scalability. So the program, the total value for Elite Webinar Mastery, the program is about 25,000. And I'm going to show you what you get. This is my fast track this is my bonus for you guys. My fast action bonus when you pick up EasyWebinar today at 1080, I'm going to include Elite Webinar Mastery, my $2,000 program. And this is what's inside this particular program, this training. It's got 4 core modules: the foundation module, pre-webinar phase module, going live module, and post-webinar phase. And basically, these are 4 different sets of modules that are covering the experience of building out a webinar, right? We also are going to give you supplemental training and value-packed bonus content. You're going to get accountability, swipe files, worksheets, and pre-done templates, archived group coaching sessions and office hours, and access to my paid coaching student Facebook group, right? Those are the things you are going to be getting. And just so you guys are clear, the foundation, the pre-webinar phase, going live, and post-webinar phase, these are basically like there are 10 to 15 videos in each of these modules, okay? And so if you're in the foundation course, you're basically just starting out. You are going through and building out your first webinar, like understanding who your audience is, building out your first webinar, pre-webinar phase. How are you going to, it talks about promoting your webinar, getting ready to launch your webinar, right? Getting your email, getting people signed up for your webinar. Then it talks about going live. What are the features that you want to have ready to go live? How do you perform the webinar in the best way? What are ways to make your engagement on the webinar even more powerful? How do you indoctrinate people on a webinar? Post-webinar phase, how do you increase sales after the webinar is over, right? How do you get increased conversions, right? That's what this program does. It really shows you exactly how to dominate webinars. We have people that want to get certified in EasyWebinar and webinars go through this specific program. So this program will make you a webinar master, okay? So the total bonus package is $5,000. When you come in today, you get full access to Elite Webinar Mastery, the training, the automated high ticket coaching, right? So that's 1,000. When you get Easy Webinar Pro Annual, remember you get Elite Webinar Mastery that sells for 2,000. The automated course or product sales webinar funnel training, that's valued at 1,000, and the 6 steps to a high converting sales webinar, that's 1,000. So total is 5,000. All you have to do is go to easywebinar.com/pricing. easywebinar.com/pricing. And as I said, Rick said, one of my biggest wins this year is using Facebook ads to Easy Webinar. Your team is awesome. When there's an issue comes up, you guys are right on it. I couldn't be happier. This is the thing we see with people, okay? And I'd like to answer questions, and then we're going to go in basically, and I'm going to show you how to basically use Easy Webinar in your business, okay? So, but what you're seeing right here is the total bonus package. You basically have 9 minutes to get this package before it's gone. What I'd like to do right now is I want to go in and actually show you Easy Webinar. I want to show you some things that you guys can do right now. So I'm going to close this out, okay? And what we're going to do right now is I'm going to show you basically Easy Webinar and how this experience is. So very first thing that I'm going to show you is basically what it feels like to register for a webinar using Easy Webinar. Now, we have different registration pages. Here is basically the dashboard of Easy Webinar. Let me just quickly bring this over so you can see it. Here it is right here. When you come into Easy Webinar, you're first immediately going to get onboarding. You're going to get a welcome video that really, as you can see right here. So it's going to teach you a lot of what you want to know here. And then these are the different places you can go. So if you want to go live on the fly with a live webinar, you could literally go click here and go live by starting a live webinar, like say live on the fly, right? Go live. And this will bring you into your choice where you choose your live stream video source options. Like you have 2. You can enter our live room, which we're in right now running a live webinar. So we can't actually jump from one to the other. But when you jump into your live room, you get all the cool things that you could do with Easy Webinar, right? And I'm gonna play a video very soon here so you can see it. But then if you want to also create automated webinars, you click into here and you can create your first automated webinar, which you toggle to automated webinar. You could choose a recurring webinar, recurring event. You can have it streamed every day. You can choose different times, like let's say 3 p.m., 11 a.m., and let's say 9 a.m., right? Doesn't really matter the order in which I put it out there. I'm going to have it stream out every day. And you can go into the advanced section and decide if you want to split the date and time. You can choose to have in-time registration. So you can have this added to this scheduling. So if you want someone to be able to come to the page and be able to watch a webinar in the next 15-minute increment, so then you can do so, right? Exclude time for in-time registration, and you have all of these scheduling options. We show you how to build this out, how to build out these really amazing funnels. And that's what you could do in the events. Now, when you are some of the other cool things you could do with EasyWebinar is that every live session can become a recording, and so you can you can download these, upload them to a membership site, so you can literally build out your video content and upload them to memberships and create your course using EasyWebinar, using these webinars basically. The other thing is you can upload presentations to where for your live webinars, you can have different presentations or video files, right? So you can upload presentation or video files so that when you go live, you can play a video, right? You can play a video or play a presentation. It's very cool stuff. I'm actually going to show you a quick how Jay Shetty is using EasyWebinar. Here's Jay Shetty's webinar right here. Claim your spot. This is using the power of EasyWebinar's widget. Okay, so you can sign up for a future time. As you can see here, Jay has 11:30. So this is the just in time or right on time where it's going to show a stream webinar in the next 9 minutes. If it was 11:31, it would show 11:45 as an option right here. And then he has 3 future times. So I'm going to click this one. I'm going to sign up, register. It's going to take us to a thank you page. On the thank you page, Jay has a video up. This is using EasyWebinar. Here's his video. You can have text written right here. All this is editable. You can save the date of the webinar in your G calendar, right, or iCalendar. Here's the link to the webinar right straight away. And here's the link to the countdown page prior to the event starting. Now, a lot of people will add video and all sorts of other stuff to this page to make it even more enticing to get people showing up to the webinar. And then emails are now going out from Jay at this point, right? So EasyWebinar has high converting registration pages like this. This is actually here. Let me go in and edit EasyWebinar here, dashboard. We're going to go into events. And I am actually going to edit this event so you can see how this process kind of looks. Let's see, we're going to make this the 15th, right? Friday at 1:30, save and publish. And this is just me like creating a very baseline webinar experience, right? Where you have the registration page or the registration box. This is easy using EasyWebinar. You can have an image or video here, and you put your name and email in. Register for the event. This is what you can have. It's going to have your enter webinar. Here's your webinar link and so on and so forth. Okay, here's another one. Amy Porterfield. This is using EasyWebinar and her own registration page and her own thank you page. But you can, of course, use ours, and we encourage it because of what we have inside. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to actually bring in a video that was done by Skip. We're going to bring Skip's video up here.
You can use EasyWebinar as the backbone to your business. Did you know that webinars could be used in every phase of the sales cycle? From lead generation, customer acquisition, online selling, and even customer onboarding. EasyWebinar is truly the best kept secret of many of the top experts and influencers in online marketing today. We are a live stream technology with an amazing sales funnel builder. We have scalable sales and marketing automation with social media syndication, CRM platform integration, and a full analytics customer engagement tool. Everything is built into one great platform. EasyWebinar is a full solution marketing system that leverages engagement and automation, all using the power of webinars. So now the only question that's left is, are you ready to take a look inside of EasyWebinar? Let's go. So here we are inside of EasyWebinar's dashboard, and right away you can see that there are a couple different things that we can do. We can create a live webinar, an automated webinar, upload our presentation material, check our recordings, schedule an event, check our account settings, all kinds of different things. But I tell you what, let's just jump into the machine and go live, test with the demo, and show you what it looks like inside. So now we're inside of the live engine of EasyWebinar. We're actually broadcasting live. There's nobody here right now because I just hit the live button and didn't tell anybody, but we are actually live inside of EasyWebinar, and this is what the room looks like from the admin perspective. So right away at the top, you can see we have recording, so we can definitely send replays to our customers. We can simulcast our broadcast to Facebook Live, YouTube Live, or even both. We can check our internet connection, check our mic, check our camera. We have presentation options. I can share my screen where I can share an entire screen, an application window, or a browser tab. I can do a slide share program like PowerPoint or Keynote, which I'll show you that in just a moment, or I can even share a video inside of the live room. Let's go look at the share a presentation, and I'm going to pull up this demo PowerPoint here. All right, so this is what happens when we share a slide share presentation. We've got our slides above, and you can see how my image stays there because I have my camera on, and it just drops down so people can still see me. If I choose to, I can always go up and turn my camera off like that, but I don't want to today. I want you to see my face, right? So you know that it really is me talking, and I can advance through my slides. We can talk about different things with EasyWebinar and show you that, and it's pretty amazing. And then I can come over here and I can say stop sharing, go back to my camera, I can go back to my slides, I can go back to a video, bump back and forth and do whatever I want to. But this is the live experience room. On the right side, we have our chat, our participants, and our offer. So if we had participants in here, we could see them, a list of other participants, and be communicating with them. In the chat, we can sit down here and type a message in, and then this is where you're going to deploy your offers and make sure that people buy your amazing things, right? But this is it. So you can present, you can share, you can have a camera, you can have multiple angle cameras, you can invite people, simulcast Facebook Live, YouTube Live, you can record your events, and then when we're done, of course, we're going to end it. We're going to end it right now because I want to take you back to the dashboard and show you our amazing page builder system. So here we are inside of EasyWebinar. This is where the magic happens. This is the sales funnel magic of EasyWebinar. I am looking at all of the funnel pages I will ever need to produce a webinar. I've got registration page, thank you page, the webinar page, replay. I have event notifications for before and after the event. I can integrate with my CRM if I want to. I have advanced options to put Facebook pixels and Google codes and all kinds of different things on here. But everything you need to run a webinar is right here on this page. And the absolute magic of EasyWebinar resides right here in this button. So I can switch any webinar between live and automated just by toggling this back and forth. I can do a webinar live a few times, and then when I'm ready to take that webinar automated, I can hit that button and then show the replay of the last webinar that I did as the automated webinar. This is the magic of EasyWebinar, and you will not find this in any other platform out there. Now let's take a look at the scheduling options with EasyWebinar. Not going to go into all of them because there are many, many rich, deep scheduling options, but I can have a webinar be a one-time event or a recurring event. And if it's a recurring event, I have options of showing it every day, specific dates, and I can add more sessions, or specific days in the week. And I can add more times, remove times. We also have the just-in-time option, and I can show it immediately when somebody registers. Let's take a look at some of the page builders here. So I have the registration page and my webinar headline, my sub-headline. I can add a video or an image inside of my registration page. Of course, I can have a place here for the URL for the video. I've got an event description here where I can literally put anything I want to. This is a WYSIWYG editor that I can have any font, any size. I can embed an image, I can embed a video, text linking, whatever I want to do here on the registration page as far as my description and bullet points and different things that are happening. We have a ton of advanced settings from CSS programming to adding a logo in there. We can add in presenter information as far as their bio so that that can be seen as well. We've got the GDPR if you happen to live in any of the EU countries. And now we can even actually add custom fields if you happen to have one of our pro or enterprise level options. Our thank you page is pretty much kind of the same way as far as you can have an image or a video. The description editor is exactly the same. It's a WYSIWYG editor where we give you free reign to be able to program in anything you want to do. And if you have customization options that need to be done, those can be performed here. We have social share incentives for bumping up your registration by allowing people to post on Facebook and Twitter. The event page, again, very simple, very easy. All of our customization options are exactly the same, so between the pages you won't get lost. We have the WYSIWYG editor in here as well. We have the place to put the offers, and you can add in as many different offers as you want. Select your button, add to cart, buy now, or even customize your own button. Put the URL where you want to send people to buy. We have chat settings where you can choose what type of chat options you're going to do, and again, our amazing theme customizations too. Replay page, event notifications where we have all the before emails reminding people to show up, all the after emails reminding people to watch the replay. We can even integrate with your favorite autoresponder, Aweber, ActiveCampaign, Constant Contact, GetResponse, iContact, MailChimp, OtterPoint, Infusionsoft, Drip, ConvertKit, and a custom code for all the other CRM platforms out there that aren't listed above. We even have Zapier integration, so if your CRM or email program happens to be one of those that is also listed with Zapier, this opens up EasyWebinar to the world, where now we can connect not just with the ones we've pre-programmed in, but through Zapier, we can connect with hundreds of other applications that are out there. Our advanced options allow you to integrate with Facebook Pixels, Google Pixels. You can change your SEO settings as far as your title tags and keywords. You can rename your URLs and set up your social media tag settings as well. You can see right here by looking at your screen that we have integrated everything into EasyWebinar so there is not a single other application you need to purchase. We take care of everything from setting up your pages to getting people to the event, to allowing them to come back and watch a replay, to sending them notifications and reminding them to show up and reminding them to watch the replay, and even some advanced settings for people that love outside applications. EasyWebinar is the one-stop shop for both live or automated webinars in technology today. Let's take a look at some live registration pages that are in use right now. So here's a page that Casey Zeman created for the webinar, Learn the 6 Steps to a High Converting Sales Webinar. You can see we've got our widget button right here, which pulls up the times and allows you to register your name and email. We also have this page here. Again, same thing. Here we go. Times, name, email, register for the event. Matter of fact, I've already registered for this one. Here's the thank you page for that. It's running right now, so we're going to jump in the room, but here is the conversion page for this webinar here. You can put a video or an image on these pages. We're going to enter the room and just see how the webinar is going. You can see here that I have a chat box already set up in the corner here. We've got the offer button that just popped up and appeared. You can ask questions for the webinar. This is an automated webinar setup, and
connections with those platforms, not through Zapier, but then we have all those other ones, additional ones through Zapier now, and it's pretty cool stuff.
All right, so let's take a look at some of the ones that our customers have made. So this is ConvertKit using our widget. Signing up right there. Start watching. This is a couple. Here's a few other customers that are using our page and some registration pages. Some awesome buttons that people have created using our widget. So you can see that setting up a high quality registration page using EasyWebinar can be easily done.
automated.
And I still remember the day that I came home and I saw Eric sitting on the couch watching Casey's videos from his video funnel. And he said, I think I want to invest in EasyWebinar. This seems like a great idea. We could automate our webinars. And I remember looking at him and saying, are you serious? I had no idea what it was going to do for our lives, but it has completely transformed our business, where now instead of having to do live webinars all the time, now we're able to put together a quality automated webinar that can allow people to view it on their own time. We can interact. It's just amazing to see what's become of it.
Love about EasyWebinar, and in fact, I don't know if I met, Casey and I had coffee just a couple of days ago in an area of Los Angeles. I don't know if you remember I mentioned this to you, but I'll give it last weekend, for example.
Yeah.
Literally last weekend, I thought I'm just going to turn on EasyWebinar for the weekend, so Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I emailed my list on the Thursday saying I'm just going to do something this weekend only. And talking to results, I made $4,000 a day on the Friday, the Saturday, and Sunday simply by one email to my list about this thing I was doing at the weekend. Wow. So that's extra 12 grand, right? Just for one email. Just for turning it on. And that's being super conservative. When I have a new webinar, I always hesitate saying this because I hope it doesn't sound ostentatious, but I'll easily make 5 figures a day emailing my list about a new webinar that I'm doing. Wow. So the results, I think, are tremendous. And I often, when I see Casey, I'll say, thank you so much for creating this software.
The first webinar made, Casey, now it's up to like $14,000.
I have to tell you, we brag about your tool over and over again in my webinar course. It's like the recommended tool. So I'm so glad to be a part of this and get to share all my tips and secrets to webinar.
To continually do a webinar and continue earning from that is powerful.
So in the last 10 days, and what I love is how trackable this is, we've done 14 sales directly on the EasyWebinar platform. So that means they went from that streaming webinar and made a purchase of Podcaster's Paradise, which resulted in over $16,000 of revenue.
It felt like a missing link to me. Like, why wasn't I selling and using webinars and the power of video to actually connect with my audience while actually selling them a product?
Each and every day, auto webinars are a very big part of both those businesses. And across those two businesses, automated webinars probably bring in at least 15 to 20,000 in sales a day across those two brands combined. So very big, revenue generator for us. Yeah, we're using EasyWebinar for all of those.
For all those?
Yeah, but I mean, it's not always like that. Things are really firing right now. So don't think that's like for the last 5 years that's been the case. I mean, there's ups and downs.
Otherwise, you'd have 20 lamps behind you, right?
Exactly. A lamp hoarder.
That's why I like working with you, Casey, because I trust you. Yeah. I'm putting a lot on the line doing automated webinars and putting a lot of faith in the software, between my business, my employees, my family, all the stuff we have. Yeah. And to me, it's got to be a guy I trust. And you, my friend, are the goods. And it's such a great business model. You get to write, you get to engage, you get to do videos, you get to do the automated webinars, the conversion's happening by itself. You're building a community, you're selling products. Between that and you wrap it up with a sequence and a model that works and converts like an automated webinar using EasyWebinar. Hell!
It's good when the mic distorts too when you say it. That's actually.
You like that when I just get it? I get really excited. Yeah. But you get that. That's the magic.
Now, as I said, when you do come in to EasyWebinar during this webinar, you're going to be getting access to Elite Webinar Mastery, which basically includes this part right here. Now, not this part. This is our high-end coaching. This is our certification program. That's what this is. But this one, you get access to our foundation course. So you come in, and when you click on the foundation program, it basically unlocks a series of videos. These are the videos that are inside this program right here, right? From uses of webinars, choosing a topic, choosing a webinar platform, presentation style, tools for business, tech gear for webinars, the 6 steps to a high converting webinar, and webinar creation. Okay. Then you can go back, and after you've gone through the foundation, you can go into the main part of the webinar mastery program. And this is what you get access to: the pre-webinar phase, webinar day, and post-webinar. Now, inside of these modules, you open them up, you are going to see what's inside here. So this one, webinar timeline, the page intro, registration page creation, thank you page creation, scheduling your automated webinar, promoting your webinar, right? So you click on it, and inside here, there's even more than one video. There's 2 videos with supporting documents. There's also lessons that we want you to do. Like, so we want you to accomplish something at this time, right? So you can kind of go through this and see what that looks like. And all of this is what you get inside of these different modules. And that's just in the pre-webinar phase alone. Then we go into, as you could see, if we go over here, then you can go into, actually, you can see it right here. So we scroll down. These are the trainings that are in the webinar day. And then these are the things that are in the post-webinar, right? So we have Infusionsoft, cross-platform pollination, all this cool stuff that we teach inside the Elite Webinar Mastery program. You not only get that, but you also get the bonus content inside of Elite Webinar Mastery here, right here, bonus resources, where it's got coaching calls, branding yourself, Canva, Facebook ads, project management, how to live stream like a hero, working with JVs. We talk to top producers that use EasyWebinar. As I said, hot seat recordings and more. We have all this stuff inside of EasyWebinar. It's very cool stuff. And when you come in, this is access. You get all of this Elite Webinar Mastery content when you come in today and pay the $1080 per year for EasyWebinar. Okay, so it's normally a $2,000 program on its own. We're rolling it into EasyWebinar today during this webinar. Okay, only on this workshop can you get access to this. All right, so come in today, get access to it, and we will see you on the inside. All right, thanks everybody. Take care. Bye.